Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is my Despia deck profile. I'm gonna show some replays I had. If you're a returning viewer, you may notice that I'm trying a different approach to these videos. After some feedback, some of you wanted me to narrate some of my gameplay. Granted, it's a pretty complicated deck, so let's check the first one. It was against Zodiac. Let's get right into the gameplay. Alright, so I'm going second with no hand traps at all, so let me speed up the gameplay. Oh, he just set 2 cards, okay. I drew Branded Opening for turn. First of all, I activated Branded Regain and tried to use Quam to see if he had any response. And he did, he used Gamma, so... Apparently he bricked all hand traps. Here I go, Branded Opening. And Imperm. I'll use Super Polymerization, try to dodge that Imperm. Let's speed that up. Got myself Branded Fusion, sending Lubellion, making Albion, and as expected another Imperm. Here we go, activate Lubellion, get Branded Lost. Attack, attack, and try to use Albion. This was a misplay of sorts. I should not have attacked his Sidetrain Driver. I really didn't expect him to have a second Gamma in hand, but he did, so here we are. Best turn, and he drew Fenrir. Goodbye Lubellion, he attacks. Going for the big Zeus. Alright, here's something he did not count on. I have Aluber in the graveyard, so it doesn't matter how many materials that Zoo has, it's going to negate it, so my Alba summon via Coritis is going to resolve no matter what. Aluber negates Zeus, Coritis summon Albas, Albas discard Retribution, and now I have a Mirror Jade. Looking pretty good for me here. I grab back my Branded Fusion. And use Mirror Jade, bounce back Oliver, search Burning Red, and I attack. So this was a pretty nice gameplay, showing me played through 4 disruptions and still getting ahead. Second replay against Scareclaw Kashtira. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, this time I'm going first. This hand I will use Ganguinol to get my Branded Fusion, but I got hit with the Roach. Maxi. I summon Albas, normal summon Quen, set Retribution and pass, because I don't want to give him too many draws. As soon as he goes to the main phase and does anything, I make Sanctifier. Sanctifier is a really good card against Kashtira since most of them affects targets, so they have a really hard time dealing with this. And of course, I'll use Maxi myself. It's only fair. He banishes a unicorn. And here are the Scareclaw plays. He made a Baron. Apparently he didn't read, so he doesn't know that he cannot target my Sanctifier. Let me speed that up a little bit, I don't have much to do here. Again, he tried to target me, does not work. Summon out of us to my field, Maxi to his. He obviously negates with the Baron. At least I wasted his negate. Just summon Serenir, try to block an attack. Maybe if he destroys it I can send a card for free to the graveyard. Cartesia goes back to the hand. And now I pretty much have free reign. And Super Puurly at the top. Make that starting venom. And it's over from here. He scoops. Alright, third duel against Dragonlink. Dragonlink usually has some pretty nice gameplay, so let's check that out. Going second, I have Maxi. I waited because I didn't want to play into Gamma. I expected him to use the Cipher effect in the field, so I probably should have used Maxi as soon as he normal summoned it, but oh well. And he starts summoning, I will not waste any more time. Use Maxi, he goes into seals and passes. Probably has a lot of bestials in hand, so we'll have to play around that. Alright, here's probably trying to bait some disruption. See if he has any responses to my plays. And let's not give him any time to use that seals. Use Super Puurly and get rid of it right away. Grabbing Branded Fusion from the graveyard with Retribution. Cartesia, and now he uses Maxi. I will not let him draw from that. Chain Branded Red Summon, I'll be on the Sanctifier Dragon. And Branded Fusion into Rinbrand. Here I was really afraid of him drawing into bestials to potentially stop my lethal and have a comeback in the next turn. And that made me forget that I cannot attack with monsters made with Branded Red. So I missed lethal. Let's hope that doesn't hurt us too much. Best turn. And now he can play for... well, apparently not. I don't think he had... alright, I don't know why he scooped here, but I'll give us a win. Fourth game, Kashtira. Let's see how that one goes. Going second with just a bestial that does not do much to Kashtira, so we'll basically just sit here and wait for him to play. Thankfully we have super polymerization, so that's gonna help a lot. Let's speed that up because nobody got time to waste. He banishes three pretty good important cards, but let's hope that's still not enough for him to win. Alright, deployment, summon Albus. Here I do not use his effect because that would trigger Unicorn. So I just go for Super Polymerization. I discard Tragedy so I can get a Surge for free. I make Mirror Jade. And now he uses Maxi. Since I was already playing, I didn't have to worry about him banishing my Mirror Jade, for example, so I just triggered the Tragedy effect, which did trigger the Unicorn. In hindsight, I maybe didn't need that, but since his Unicorn is already used, I'll just banish the Shangri, because the Unicorn does not concern me anymore. Green Brown. Try not to give him too many draws. Go to battle. Play around Nibiru. And he did not draw anything to stop lethal there, thankfully. And even if he did, I had a pretty sizable field. It was not gonna be easy for him to come back from that. Now the fifth duel against Michael. He was on Vanquish Soul. Let's check that out. Going second with a couple of Bestials and an Oliver. Not much else to speak of. He's doing his Vanquish Soul plays, and I'm just sitting here. And he reveals he has an Ash. That's not great. He just burns me and passes. I draw Lubellion, and he tries to burn me again. Alright, I'm summon Oliver. He has an Ash, so there's absolutely no point in searching my Branded Fusion here. He was gonna negate it no matter what, and I would be with an open field. Not a good play. Discarded Serenir. Grab Albion, Serenir send Retribution to grab back a card. Grab Magnamut. That's the most important bestial I have after the Serenir. Now I'm going for brand new white place because Branded Fusion is dead. Alright, Mega Chimera, chain block it with Ad Libitum again because he showed me he has an Ash. It didn't matter because he had Imperm, which is pretty annoying. So the plus side of not having used Branded Fusion, I'm not fusion locked. Use Rebellion, Druid Storm, sends it to the graveyard. He has a bell. That's pretty annoying. I really wanted a draw. Alright, no problem. Let me just attack. Here I'm putting myself at a really low life point count, but let's hope that's not too bad for me. Going for Vertane. Again, playing around that Ash in his hand, which he was very kind to reveal to me. Make a Mirror Jade. So here I broke your board and made Mirror Jade without ever needing my Branded Fusion. Also, I can avert to play, but that did play around Ash. so that's good. I'll be all set. Retribution, which is really good in case he has something like Take Your Soul, and he did not have anything, so he just passes. Yeah, he scoops, I mean. And that's Vanquish Soul done. Let's go for the 6th game against Branded Despia. Pretty weird build, not gonna lie. He's not even playing Serenir. I don't know what he's doing in Master Rank. Well, let's check out the replay. Going first with a very stacked hand. Just trying to thin the deck as much as possible. Baiting some response. Here, could get my Branded Beast and my Branded Lost before ever needing to use Branded Fusion. And that's a pretty greedy play, but let's see if it pays off. Going for Albion. Negate and bounce that Oliver, get some follow-up. Use Cartesia summoned with Quen. Here I noticed only after completing the board that my beast was not live. I do not have any bestials. That's my bad. And you start with Super Polymerization. With trigger on Equem, he obviously negates it with Dragostapelia. Here goes for Branded Lost. Here he has Branded Lost. There's no point in me waiting for Branded Fusion because I cannot negate it under Branded Lost, so I'll just negate deployment because I won't really have anything better to negate later. I'm just trying to survive here. And he has Branded Fusion, of course. Going for Albion. I'm just a sitting duck here. I cannot do anything. I'm just praying for him to misplay and midfleet though. And he seems like he overcooked, and he did in fact mislead though. He even left me a monster on the field. How kind of him. He's clearly planning to go for a grind game. He searched the Branded Regain, but he should not have given me another turn, especially when I have Branded Lost on the field. I go for Lubellion. I already have the Bestial Lubellion in the graveyard, so there's no point in going for Albion. And I get to recycle some cards along the way. Here, while my chain's still protected by Branded Lost, I banish his Dragostapelia, just so he doesn't ever have a chance to actually use it. Now I can safely summon Oliver. Banish his Lubellion just in case. Get my own regained before I use Branded in red. And here he made a big misplay. I used Branded red in Chinli Quan and he chained Cartesia. But he forgot I have Branded Lost on the field, so he will not get to use any of his field effects. Big display here, which will cost him the duel. I make my Chimera and trigger a lot of chain links. Alright, pop his field, and he summons Lulu, which plays right into my Baldrake that I just summoned, thanks to him. Which leaves us in an open field for lethal. Seventh duel against Vanquish Soul again. Let's see how that one goes. I'm going second. Again, with just a Bestial for a hand trap, which does not do much against Vanquish Soul. But I still need to run Bestials. They are very useful against other matchups, like Labyrinth or Dragon Link. He goes for his Vanquish Soul plays, I'll be honest. I'm not really sure how the deck works, so I'm just watching here. Alright, he passes on a seemingly pretty modest board with just a rock of the Vanquisher and then an set card. Oh, look at that! I drew Fusion Deployment. That's very useful. That was a terrible Ash. You should never Ash this card. You care. The branded player cares more about the cost of it. We just want to get the spells and traps in the graveyard. We don't care about the draw. This is a terrible Ash, which you will see will come back to bite him. He even triggered my Triple Tech Trust. Amazing card, by the way. Go for Foolish Burial. Get myself an Owler. Bartle Furious. Get rid of that trap, cause I'm scared. And it was a good thing I did, cause this could easily stop lethal. And now he's playing on my turn. I have no idea what he's doing. I'm just waiting for my turn. Okay, here we go. I make a Chimera. Chain blocked and protected by Burning Lost. Get myself a Spring and Skit. Add back the Branded Fusion I sent earlier. And now it's time to cook. Going for Albion, standard play. Lubellion, discard Branded High Spirits. I will not really use it this turn. And he's just going for... He's just trying to survive here. He changed my Chimera to defense position. That will not save him. I banish his card, trigger my Aura Gained, draw a card. Not a great card, but I need these cards anyway. Send Branded Sword with Quim. Caesar. Let me crash into that. So here I almost missed lethal. But earlier I had this Mercurier back to my hand with a very clear intent. I needed a discard for Super Puurly. I'm going to get lethal. I summon my Starving Venom. I trigger my Quem. I summon back my Mirror Jade. And just like that, I have lethal. That was not a great replay. Well, wasn't a great player, since he ashed literally the worst card in the worst card you could possibly ash. But it was pretty nice how I found lethal on that board, so I wanted to show it to y'all. And the 8th duel is against Dragon Link, a 60 card Dragon Link. I can't really evaluate their duels. The only deck I can really do that for is Branded, and we only had one. Let's see how that one goes. I'm going first with a very good hand. Banish my tragedy. Grab myself an Oliver. No disruptions. Looking good for me. I'll just full combo this guy. There's nothing he can do here. So I'm going to sword, grab back Mercuriar. This is a severely underplayed card. It's really good. You can use your Mercuriar to combo with Bestials and still add it back. So here I go for Glenwinall. Send Titanic Lad. And he has Bell. Thankfully, I had a Mercuriar earlier, so it won't matter. Oh, I remember this duel now. Watch what happens soon. So Serenir, send Lubellion, because I did not send it with Branded Fusion, so I need it somehow. He used Nib as soon as I summoned Lubellion. But he forgot something. I had not used either Mirror Jade nor Rindrum. So I'll just chain my Mirror Jade, chain Rindrum, and bounce my Lubellion. Thank you. Now you just gave me a free Bestial Search. That triggers my Granguinal, summon Quem, send Albas, I search my Druid Swarm, and end phase, add back my Cartesia, summon Albas, discard the Cartesia I just added, fuse his Nib away, summon Albion, use Quem to summon back the Cartesia, and I still end on a very sizable board. I have a Rindrum in the graveyard to revive the Albas and fuse away his monsters. I have a live Mirror Jade, I have a Quem, I have a Cartesia, I have a Retribution to negate a special summon, I have a Druid Swarm, I would search another Bestial with Magnum Hut, and I have Maxi. And that's all through Bell and Nib. That was a really good showcase of how well the deck can play through Disruption. And he obviously surrenders after all that. And for the 9th and last duel, we have a very long one against Puurly. This deck is terrible to play against. Let's see how I deal with that. In my last few videos I couldn't get any Puurly replays because all duels were super sacky, but this time I managed to get a good one. So let's see how that one goes. Going second with no disruption, so he's gonna end on that Tower of Haze Noir. I was really considering surrendering right here because this deck is very annoying to play against. I really don't like it. But I'm glad I didn't. I ended up with a very good replay here. And he ends on a 7 Material Noir and an Purely Beauty. How on earth will I deal with that? Well, let's see. This duel's long for a reason. Alright, so let me assess my options here. The only real way I have of forcing that thing out is with my Starving Venom. So I need to basically loop my Starving Venom and force him to use his cards. But I cannot just beat over this card, because then he will trigger my friend, and he will add back a ton of spells, and he will summon a thing with Puurly Street, and I will have a really bad time in the next turn. So I cannot just crash into that thing, which is gonna make for a very annoying duel. I start off with Brandon High Spirits. I'm trying to draw something, some blowout card here, which does not work out. So I just end up using Branded Lost here. I searched Branded Lost because I don't want him to use his beauty. Send Tragedy again, I'm trying to thin the deck. I did have one Herald of the Abyss in the deck at this point, but I did not get to use it this turn, this duel. So I'll just do my best to deal with this board. I really need to get rid of my friend Puurly, and I know he has another one, so it's not looking great for me. He searches a leap, and that leaves just Noir in his field. And I don't have much here. I have a Brandon Red to pop a card, and I have Furious to pop another. I basically have 2 pops here. Not much to speak of. I'm getting rid of my friend. In hindsight, that was not a great play, because I knew he had this one, because it's Royal. I saw it earlier. I did not notice that this was another copy, so I forgot he had a 3rd copy in hand, but still. I'm making him go through his cards, that's still pretty good. I just use Brandon High Spirit so it stops asking me about it. He tried to grab my Brandon Red, which forced me to use it and make myself a starting Venom. Just to block him up. He can't beat me over now. He summons his Puurly, and he bounces my starting Venom. Thankfully, because I need to stay in the next deck for my turn. And now I don't have a Brain Fusion anymore. And now he has a 2nd Noir. I really wanted to scoop here, but I was in my rank duel, I think. Something like that. For some reason I really couldn't surrender on this one. Comes for Puurly, which does not help me here. Can't even Ash him, because he's unaffected by Ash, but I can Ash the XC. If you're wondering why not use Called by the Grave, I'm saving this Called by the Grave. I want to kill a Noir, and then use Called by the Grave on that Noir on the graveyard, so that the Noir on the field gets negated, because the negate is continuous. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Again, I'm trying to thin the deck before I use my Shrouded. I'm really trying to draw into that Herald. It didn't work. Okay, Mirror Jade, he put his things in attack position, so that gives me an opening to try to crash the Mirror Jade. So Mirror Jade is another card that they're forced to interact with if they don't want to lose their board. I'll be honest, I didn't want him to let me crash, because then it would trigger my friend. I really didn't want that. So thankfully, he did take the bait. Start Venom, and then make him use another one. I could have used for polymerization here, and then use Called by the Grave, but I really didn't want him to get any extra resources from my friend in Street, because I don't really have much disruption for next turn. So I'll just pass. He's not gonna kill me. And then it gives him his 5th material again. Whatever shall I do? I need to get rid of that back row. Before he gets a beauty on the field, I'm gonna have to fuse that away. Yeah, my starting venom, which is now big enough to get over the little noir. Finally, I get rid of his third, my friend Puurly. Now I can safely get rid of his cards. Ash. That Ash is way too late. He attacks all my cards. Not nearly enough to kill me. And now he starts panicking. He's just using his cards, not knowing what to do. Which is a perfect opportunity for me. I recycle my Chimera because I intend to use it again. But at least pop that. Use Callbite on that. And now he has a dead field. And I can start playing, and he finally scoops. Because he was pretty much out of any place. So this is for the plays. Let's check out my deck profile. So for the most part, this is what I used. For part of the climb, I reached Master 3 or so with a 45 card build, but for later on the climb I ended up switching to a 60 card build. My older build used something like this. Let me see if I can change it back to how it was. What else do I not have? I do not have banishment. We only have one rebellion. I did not play Baldrake. There was one more card that I didn't have. I can't remember which one. Oh, I think I was on just one Cartesia. So I used to play something like this, but I ended up switching to that 60 card version of the deck, which felt a lot better. I could play the Bestial Control cards, Regained and Beast. So I did much better against Stun, which I saw quite a bit of. Let me change that deck back to what it was. What else was here? Oh yeah, it was Shrouded. Played a couple more. Can't remember the last card. Oh yeah, Triple Tactic Talent. So this is what I end up climbing with. I can go over card by card. Tragedy. Has two pretty important effects. If it's sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect like Foolish or Gold Sarcophagus, you can search any Despia card, which is your primary target is Aluber. Sometimes you search Quem, and on very rare occasions you search Ad libitum. And the second effect, you can banish it from the graveyard and set any branded spell and trap. Maxi, not much to say about it, it's Maxi. Ash Blossom, I'm not a big fan of this card in the deck, but I was getting Maxi left and right in late in my climb. And yeah, the deck plays pretty well into Maxi, but it was still very annoying, so I just added the Ash Blossom and called it a day. 3 Fallen of Albas, 2 Alibers. This is basically your searcher and has a hidden effect to negate a card on the field, monster on the field. When a fusion monster leaves the field by an opponent's card. Mercourier, it's a negate and it's a searcher if it's banished. Springer's Kit, it can get back your spells even if they're banished. Cartesia, which is the primary fusion material for Graminol, and it has an ability to quick fusion. Quam, this card is amazing. It's one of the new additions. It's always through the Dogmatic and a Despia card, so it's searchable by Tragedy. It can be summoned with Coritis. It can be summoned with Ganguinal. It can be summoned with Titanic Lad. It can be summoned with Branded Opening. It's very easy to access, so I played at 1. And it's a really good card to have on your end board. The Bestials, Magnamot is really good. Serenir is the most important one for Branded, because you can send any of your branded spell and traps to the graveyard. Drew Swarm, it's not great, but I really wanted to have a decent Bestial count in this meta. I was seeing plenty of Labyrinth and Dragon Link and other branded players, so it was really important to have Bestials. Baldrake, I really don't like to play Baldrake, but it's the only other Bestial I can play, so not much choice there. 3 Shrouded, I played a 3 because I'm using Grass, so you should play 3 on this build. Ad libitum, some people don't like it, but it feels really bad when I cut it. I use it quite a lot, to be honest. The Bestial Lobellion, again, I really wanted to get the Bestial Control tools live later in my climb, because I was facing a lot of slower decks that I really needed to have a really good grind game against. Foolish Burial, send any monster, very versatile card. Can send your Tragedy, can send your Mercourier in case you have a Bestial in hand, so you can banish that. Can send your Albas, so that makes your Cartesia alive. You can send Cartesia, you can send Rebellion in case you have a dragon on the field. It's a very versatile card, super important for the deck, don't cut it. Equally as important, Gold Sarcophagus. Banish Mercourier, add any of your monsters that mention Albas. Kit, Shrouded, Quam, Cartesia. That's pretty much it. Oh, of course, Albas himself. Grass. Honestly, you don't really have that many revered effects, but it's still really good to resolve a Grass. You resolve Grass, you pretty much always play through Ash, because you can get Albas on the graveyard, you can get Branded and White in the graveyard, so you can just make your Mirror Jade that way. That way you don't need to ever use Branded Fusion. Very good card. Not really core, but extremely important. Fusion deployment. Reveal fusion monster and summon a card mentioned as fusion material. So you can either summon Albas or Cartesia without using your normal summon, so it's a pretty good card. Triple Tactic Talents. I didn't really use this card too much, but it's still really good to have, especially in the mirror match. That drawing 2 cards can be the difference between a win and a loss. And you can also take your opponent's monsters, which I don't have to explain why it's really good in a mirror match. Red and white. That's basically your polymerization with an added effect that if you have Albas in the graveyard, you can use him plus any other monsters in the graveyard for the fusion summon. Branded Fusion. The main card in the deck. It's your fusion spell. Most of your plays revolve around this card. You really want to see this card, but unfortunately it's limited, so I need to play just one. Triple Tactic Trust. Your main set target for this is Fusion Duplication in case your Branded Fusion gets ashed. That way you can use Branded Fusion on your opponent's turn. Branded Lost. Extremely powerful card. Very underrated. A lot of people let me resolve this card and regret it later. The activation of my cards and effects that include Fusion Summon cannot be negated. That means they cannot use Baron, they cannot use counter traps, they cannot use anything that negates the activation of my fusion spells. They can still negate the effect. Like for example, if they use Ash on my Branded Fusion, Branded Lost will not protect against that. But it's still a really important card because it can help you dismantle set boards very, very easily. And it has an added effect that the opponent cannot respond to the next chain after you fusion summon a card. But, very important, that fusion summon needs to be on chain link 1 or this card will miss the timing. It also searches monster dimensions following on Albas when you fusion summon once per turn. The same cards you can search with Mercourier, but of course this can search Mercourier, so you can, for example, use Branded Fusion while you have Branded Lost on the field. As soon as you summon Albion, you search that Mercourier, so you can banish Mercourier in the same line of play. So you get the search, banish the Mercourier, use the Mercourier, search another card. You can even search an Albion and use Albion to summon Branded Sword to get back that Mercourier. So basically it's a really good card. Branded Regained. If a light or dark monster is banished, you can target one of them, add it to the bottom of the deck, draw a card. And if the opponent summons normal summons or special summons a monster, you can target a bestial in my graveyard and summon it. Extremely good card in longer duels, as you saw in that duel against Puurly. You can recycle your one-off fusions like Chimera in case you want to reuse it. Not the greatest card to draw because it's pretty slow, but it's still a really good card overall. Super Polymerization. Best board breaker you could possibly ask for, in a fusion deck especially. The only real target I play is Starving Venom, because I don't really think you need much else. Most decks in the current meta are dark. So Starving Venom is just as good as Garura. And Starving Venom has other effects that I will talk about when I'm talking about Starving Venom. Let's get to the next card. Called by the Grave. I don't need to talk much about this. It's Called by the Grave. You use it to negate hand traps like Ash or Maxi. Branded Opening. Summon or add to the hand any of your Despia cards with a secret effect to protect your fusion monsters from destruction. Very good card. Branded High Spirits. Similar to Branded Lost in Mercourier, you can search any of your Monster Dimension Albas by sending a fusion monster from the extra deck and a monster from your hand that have the same type. The fusion is to have 2500 attack or defense, which is basically all of your fusions. So yeah, I wouldn't really play this card at more than one copy in case you're playing a smaller deck list, but in this case I'm playing grass, so I can get it in the graveyard pretty easily. And of course it has an extra effect in the graveyard, and where it can add itself back in the end phase, similar to Cartesian. So it helps a lot in longer duels. Branded in red, it's a quick play fusion spell that also recycles your Despias in the graveyard. It can be used to dodge targeting, for example. Very good card. Branded Sword. You will probably never use this card's field effect. What you really care about is the graveyard effect. You can target any of your banished monsters that mention Albas or Albas himself and add it back to the hand. Most of the time you'll use it to recover your 1 Mirror Courier. That's why you play one, pretty much. But it can also use to recycle your Fallen of Albas. Branded Banishment is pretty good. Some people really like this card. I don't really use it that much because I like to set Retribution for the most part. But it's still a really good card to have, especially against Dragon Link or the Mirror Batch. Basically any deck that would suffer against Bestials also suffers against Banishment. Very good card. I would not play it in a smaller deck list, only on a 60 card deck list. Fusion Duplication. One of the best additions this deck has had in the recently. Your Brand Fusion gets ashed. You can use Trust, set Duplication, use Brand Fusion on your opponent's turn. I love this card, it's so good. And with that Brand Fusion you can summon a wide variety of cards. You can summon Sanctifier, you can summon Rinbrum, you can summon Albion. Retribution, amazing card. I used to play it at 2 in some builds. It can negate an effect to special summon a monster by returning Albus fusions to the extra deck or from the field to the extra deck. So it recycles your fusions. It's a counter threat, so it's very hard to play around. And after you use that, you also have a very good graveyard effect. They can recycle your branded spell and traps. So it's basically a recycling card with a negate on top. You can recycle your fusions, you can recycle your spell and traps, and it's a negate. What's not to love? Well, I don't love the fact that it's a trap, but not much I can do about that. Branded Beast. It's basically a pop and it can recycle your Brand Regained and Lost. Neat card, especially against Labyrinth or slower decks. Starving Venom, pretty much super poly target, but as you saw in the Puurly duel, it's also a big beater that can threaten towers. So, for example, against Ignister is also very important. And on top of that, it has a graveyard effect that if it's destroyed, you can destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. Unlike Mirror Jade, it's immediately, so you can use it as a board wipe. You can just crash this card into a bigger monster and their whole board explodes. You can also copy a monster's effect that doesn't come too often, but you can, for example, copy your opponent's Mirror Jade. That's pretty nice. Dragostapelia, again really good fusion materials for Branded Banishment or Super Poly, or even for your own cards really. It's basically a monster negate. Barrel of Furious, You can make this with your own cards, or you can use Super Poly again, especially against Dragalink or other decks that really like to use Bestials. Titanic Clad, you basically use this to summon Quinn, but it can also be a big beast stick that's unaffected by activated effects of monster special summon from the extra deck. Like Noir, Albion. It's an extender. It summons another card when you summon it, and it has a graveyard effect to set a spell or trap in the end phase. Gratis. You will mostly summon this off Granguinal to stop lethal plays from your opponent, and if it's destroyed by an opponent or banished by an opponent's card effect, you can summon a Despia or Fallen Albas. So you can punish them for destroying your field. Mirror Jade, our boss monster. Send one of the cards I mentioned, Albas, from the next deck to the graveyard and banish a monster on the field. It doesn't target, and if it leaves the field, it destroys all monster opponent controls in the end phase. Lubellion is an extender that recycles your monsters when you use them for a fusion summon. It doesn't stay on the field too much. Granguinal sends a level 6 or higher light or dark monster from deck or extra deck to the graveyard. You can use this to send your Ad libitum, your Albion, your other Albion, or even your Bestials to the graveyard in case you need them there. And it has another effect, either on the field or the graveyard, where if the opponent special summons a monster by a monster effect, you can banish this card and summon a Dogmatica monster from your deck, or a Despia monster from your extra deck. So you can summon Quinn from the deck, or you can summon Coritis from the extra deck. Very good card, very important because Brand Fusion is at 1, so you will need to use this with Saronir and Shrouded very often. Ringrun, another boss monster, I'd say. Very good to make under Maxi, especially. It just takes one special summon under Brand Fusion. It can negate an extra deck monster and bounce it. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Fallen of Albas or itself and summon them. So it gets potentially another disruption there. And you can even use it to extend your own plays in case you can get Mirror Jade and Rembrandt in the field at the same time. You can use Mirror Jade, negate it with Rembrandt, so you can still use the Mirror Jade effect next turn, but you get the fusion monsters in the graveyard, so you get to use the cost without needing to banish anything you control. Sanctifier, one of the new additions as well. Very good card. It cannot be targeted, cannot be used as fusion material, and it can summon any monster from the deck, from the graveyard, sorry. So you can use it to recycle your Mirror Jade, you can use it to recycle your Cartesia, your Quam, anything. You can use it to stop your opponent's graveyard combos. It's just a really good card in general. I never use this for any sort of lock. I really don't like playing any locks in this deck. I feel like you don't need it. It also has a secret graveyard effect that can 3-4 monsters on the field to summon itself back, but it never comes up. It's a very bad effect. Chimera, when fusion summon with a spell, very important. You need to use a spell to summon this, or you will not get the effect. You can pop cards on the field equal to the number of field monsters used, and you draw equal to the monsters in hand you used. So yeah, never summon this with using Cartesia, it will not work. And Verte, you can use it to play around Ash. There are some combos with Brand and High Spirits that you use. You summon Oliver, Use Branded, summon, search Branded High Spirit, search kit, special summon kit with its own effect, search Branded in red, link both into Verte, send Branded Fusion with Verte, chain Branded in red, targeting a card on the graveyard, and you fuse that Verte away, and you use its effect to summon another monster. It's a really neat combo. I didn't really get to show it in the replays, but it's really good to know that combo. So that's pretty much all I had for this video. If you'd like, you can leave a comment. If you like the old style of video better, you can let me know in the comments, and I will see what I do about that. I'm just experimenting with this one. And also, this video took a lot longer than I expected to come out. I was really busy with the holiday season. I got to master one a few days ago. It's not gonna load. But yeah, thanks for watching.